Hi everyone, Catherine here from Inky Fingered Cat. Christmas in July, day 31. I made it. Do you know what, this year, even though I planned better, I started later, I still felt confident, which is amazing considering everything else that was going on this month. It's been crazy. So thank you so much for everyone who's joining me. Today's challenge prompt is Santa Claus is coming to town, so it's going to be all about Father Christmas. But if this is my first video, welcome to my madness. If this is the first of my videos that you've ever seen, I do Christmas in July video. This is my third year of succeeding. I'm going to say succeeding even though I've not made this card yet. It's my third year of succeeding at Christmas in July, where I put out a festive project video every single day in July, which is a mammoth undertaking whilst doing everything else that goes on in my life. I really enjoy it though. I love it. I love making Christmas cards. And it's a good fun month to join in with, and everyone has been so lovely in the comments, so don't stop that now. And I've seen more subscribers and more views this year. It's been lovely to have you all join me. Please, however, if this is your first video and you've not subscribed and you think this might be something you enjoy, please subscribe now. Go check out the old playlists for both this year and the previous 2 years, but also hit the notification bell so you see when my next video is up, because unlike July, the rest of the year, it's a little bit more intermittent. I try to get one video out a week on average, sometimes multiple in a week, sometimes I might miss a week. So please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. Right, little detour before we start. Glamorous hair is not normally what you will see on my videos, but I have been the hairdresser today, so shout out to Robin for doing an amazing job on getting rid of all the horrible, unhealthy dead bits that were at the bottom. Fresh cut, lovely colour, although slightly less wacky than we normally go. We are embracing a little bit neutral, and we're going a bit dark. So hope you like the new hair. Not normal that I look like this. I'm aware of that. So hence I'm showing off. Right, I'm going to get on with crafting now. So going for something slightly different this time in terms of we're going to use fabric. But let's get on with main image is from that vintage Santa that I did use earlier in the month. So this is the only repeating image. Well, it's not a repeating image because I used a different stamp, but it's the only repeating stamp set that I've used throughout the whole of Christmas in July, because I don't have huge amounts of Santas. That's now a total fib, because the design team work I've been doing does include some lovely Santa images. So I have got them in my stash. I just can't show them to you just yet. They'll hopefully be coming out in the next month or so. So this is from Vintage Santa from Diamond Press, which I bought last year, and I love it. It's such a gorgeous Santa head. I think he's so pretty. It's sort of like really warming and, yeah, proper vintage, proper old school Santa. So I have stamped him. I am colouring him with my alcohol markers, which, you know, doesn't take much because there's not a huge amount of colour on him. He's got his red hat, his holly leaves and berries. His face is obviously face coloured. And then we have some sort of like light grey going on just to enhance some of the elements in his beard and his hat. That's it. Then I'm going to die cut him out. So that's the Santa bit done. You know, bit of Father Christmas, done and dusted. The main thing for this card is I just wanted to play with those bits of fabric. They are something that I've had in my stash for a long time, and I just wanted to get them used. I've used them on cards before, usually cutesy cards, and I usually do end up doing sewing, and that is what happened. I am not an expert sewer. At some point I bought fabric thinking I would do patchwork, and I still have an idea of doing quilting at some point in my life, but now is not the time. And Yeah, my mum is an excellent seamstress. Like, she's brilliant seamstress. She's always made clothes, adjusted, amended clothes. She had her own business doing special occasion wear and bridal wear for a while. Just not me. I've not taken up those genes. Creative genes, yes. Making things genes, yes. Sewing and fabric, no, not my thing. I do, however, have the sewing machine. So yeah, it has come out to play. My sewing machine gets abused and gets made to do all sorts of things that it's not really designed to do. And my mother will tell me off if she sees the state of my sewing machine. But there you go. At this point, I was thinking maybe a little bit of hand sewing. Nah, that didn't happen. So I did end up clearing the decks and getting the sewing machine out. So what have I done? I have cut apart one of the pieces that's got the holly on, just so I've got a little bit of that layered up on the red spotty. And then you're not going to see the most of this because of the fact that my sewing machine is in the way of the camera. And so I've put this into super speed now, so you can't see what's going on. All I'm doing is basically going around each of the squares and then adding it to a piece of cardstock. I don't do anything fancy. I change the stitch type. That's all I do. So here we go. It's now attached to a piece of cardstock in a few places, but not entirely. So I've still got a bit of loose, and I will add a little bit of glue just under the ends of some bits, just to make sure that it is glued secure enough to the front. I don't mind a bit of movement, but not much. So this is me adding that tiny bit of glue. And you probably can't see on the video too much the stitches that are there. They're there more for texture than anything else. And I like messy stitching because I'm rubbish at sewing. I do messy stitching, basically. I don't mind if there's threads coming off. I don't mind if it's a wibbly line. Doesn't really matter. All the things that would drive my mother mad about my sewing, that's what happens. So that's the background, and that is basically using fabric in lieu of pieces of pattern paper. I could have used pattern paper. I've not. I've decided to use the fabric. So I am now sorting out my sentiment, and I decided to keep with the same stamp set and that vintage Santa. It's got this sort of like scroll piece, and I'm just enhancing some of the embossed lines that are in it rather than using ink on it, because I'm kind of keeping it relatively clean. I'm using white here. I'm not using cream cardstock. I'm not vintaging it up with a bit of distress ink or anything like that. So I'm just using my alcohol markers to enhance those distress lines and going around the edge, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and then I also take one of the little scrolly impacty type stamps, and I stamp that too. It looks a bit odd, to be honest. Hindsight, probably wouldn't do that again, but sometimes these things happen. Also managed to drop my ink pad. So I have to do a bit of clean up because it was all over all sorts of stuff, and I knew that I was going to put my fingers in it and it'd be a mess. Anyway, I have I have die cut the scroll out again. So I'm going to just stack this so it's too deep, just because I wanted a bit of strength to it because it's going over the top of the fabric. So yeah, I just wanted it to be a little bit chunkier. Gluing it down, because the glue I use quite often, not always, but most of the time, it works with fabric as well as papers and cardstocks and plastics. It works really well. It's a good high-tack glue. I did go round the edge of that panel with the same grey, that cool grey one, just to give it a little bit of an edge, so it was similar to the sentiment panel. And at first I was going to put it on a white card blank, but it didn't look quite right because it was different tones of white. So instead I'm making it out of this green cardstock. It is a lighter colour green than I've used in both the fabrics and the colouring of his holly leaves, but I think it looks nice. It sort of still feels in tone. So sticking that down, adding a little bit of glue, and I've decided it's not quite done. So I've gone and grabbed my button selection. Now, I don't often use buttons in my makes for two reasons. One, I just never think of it. Two, my dad he's got a phobia of buttons, and so for a long time I don't use buttons on things, because if this is going to my
you know, what I do with my Christmas cards is I usually take a whole batch round to my mum and dad's. They choose the ones that they want to use, and then I use the ones that are left, and any that are left over, I might put in a pack for my aunties for their Christmas presents, or I might make them some specifically, or I'll give them to charity. So I tend to not put buttons on things because of my dad, which sounds like a weird thing, but yeah, he has a phobia of buttons, especially loose buttons. He's fine with them on fabric, on garments, but a button tin or a button jar or loose buttons, yeah, gives him the heebie-jeebies. Don't know why. We think it was he was told off for playing with buttons by his grandma when he was very little, and it's come from that. We think that that's what it is. He doesn't know for certain. Okay. I did, however, add in these sort of like measuring tape things that are from a Hey Little Magpie kit at some point. I decided they would work well with the buttons being added in the fabric, and it becomes a sort of sewing theme of card. Okay, I feel like I've talked for a long time for today's video. I don't know what happened there. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was definitely something a little bit different at the end of Christmas in July. Obviously, this is my 31st day. I've done. I'm very excited and happy about that. I'm going to film a little video with a run through of all the cards I have made this month. So I hope you join me for that. That'll come out in the next day or so. Thank you so much for all the comments, all the likes, all the subscribes. Really appreciated it. I so hope that you will join me for future videos and future series, whatever they may be. I really hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.